Hey guys, welcome to my channel. I'm Sarah Louise. I talk about all things spirituality, health, current affairs, and just sort of come on and jump on when I feel guided or particularly passionate about the topic. And as you can see, I haven't really posted for a week. I've not really felt inspired by anything. I've been way more onto my travel channel over the last week while the weather's been lovely. But I did feel quite inspired to jump on because of the Titan Submersible. Obviously, I'm not going to talk about anything technical. I know nothing about submersibles, submarines, diving, or any of that kind of stuff. But something that I'm way more interested in psychology and the way people respond to things. And that is exactly why, I feel interested to jump on and make this video. Is people's reactions. I cannot count how many comments I've seen saying because these people could afford to pay £250,000 for this experience, they are not deserved sympathy, and people even glad that they have died. Now, there is no surer way to stay in poverty consciousness than hating money. It's like a topic like this, you can almost see immediately who's got money, who hasn't got money, who has pretty much zero chance of making money in the near future because they hate money, they hate wealth, they hate rich people. It means something horrible to them. And therefore, they want to subconsciously align with a poverty consciousness because they dislike money, they dislike rich people. If you have such a hatred for it, then you're not going to align to that energy because you don't have a positive feeling about money, and you're just aligning to like a hatred of it and a negativity, which isn't going to allow it to flow freely into your life. And I just can't believe how many comments I've seen on this. And it's very much a judgmental, it's a very isolated way of thinking as well, because it's just literally applying the whole world to you and where you're at right now and making a judgment based on that. To these people, spending £250,000 for an experience is just akin to some really, really poor kid living in the slum seeing us spending £280 on a flight just to go on holiday for an experience. At the end of the day, most of our life is calculating risk versus experience, and that calculation is different per person. I definitely understand people not feeling sorry for people taking high risks. And we can all acknowledge that some risks are higher than others. Obviously, like climbing Mount Everest, the number of people that die per people that take it is probably riskier than getting in a plane. However, one of the most dangerous things we can do is being in a car or eating shit food, like processed food and unhealthy food, since heart disease is one of the biggest death risks in the USA, and it doesn't seem to stop some people from eating a lot of rubbish food because they like the experience of the rubbish food more than they fear the consequences of their actions. And this is just life. Life is a series of calculated risks. Obviously, it depends what these people are told, because if there's malfunctions with something that isn't told to the people taking that experience, then obviously they are in some way to blame because they've withheld information. And that's a very different thing to taking a risk and paying for an experience. One of the most sort of pointless risks you can possibly do perhaps is like bungee jumping or jumping off a plane, but that doesn't stop many people from doing it, and you don't have to be rich to do those things. So people offer more sympathy to these people. People offer sympathy to people that have plane crashes, car crashes, but they are all calculated risks based on what we personally feel is enjoyment factor versus risk. Most people in this world think that it's worth taking the risk to drive somewhere and to get places and not just stay in their local village than it is the possibility of what that means. And it is a very dangerous thing. The same as, some people think that it's most people think it's a viable risk taking a plane to go on holiday and have that experience. And these people are just playing with different numbers, and not all of them. There was a woman that, spent 30 years saving for that experience. And whether we judge it and we think it's a right use of money or a wrong use of money, that's her choice. That's something she wanted to do with that money she'd saved. And for the richer people, to them, it's probably like us going and buying a coffee from the local coffee shop or a sub from Subway as a treat. Now, the risk factor is separate, but just hating somebody because they have money to do an experience that they really want to do and a once in a lifetime thing, I'm sorry, but that is poor form. It's going to keep you in poverty consciousness. It's not going to help your own life. And it's just making you a miserable, bitter person that is going to keep yourself locked in a cycle of not being able to do experiences that you want to do, in my opinion. And I think that, you don't have to feel sorry for people taking risks in return for paying a lot of money, but you can't separate them off just because their experience was more expensive than someone else's experience. You either say, well, they took a gamble and that's life, or you feel sorry for them. You can't just single out people because you personally think they're too rich for you. That people in really, really poor countries will look at a lot of the decisions we make like that. They probably can't believe that we just get flights to go on holiday for a week and things like that. And it's just a very limited mindset. And I honestly don't think it's conducive to living a life of abundance and your ultimate life. So yeah, I just wanted to drop that on because I just see so many comments and they're so hateful. Like, there's nothing wrong with just not feeling sorry for somebody that you don't know. That's fair enough. But to feel, to almost laugh and be happy that someone's died just because they're richer than you, I mean, come on. But when it comes to, obviously, I know there's lots of conspiracy theories out there as well. And, you can't make a post these days without 20 people telling you that it wasn't real or blah, 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 blah. And I don't really want to go into that. I'm kind of staying out of a lot of the conspiracy theory stuff. Of course, it's possible. Anything is possible. And I'm sure there's going to be some stuff coming up over the few months to look into on that. Do remember, though, that this has been going up and down for years, and there have been many people that have taken it, including a YouTube blogger, actually, that filmed the whole experience. It's in another language, so you can't really understand it, but there is somebody that did that. And so it's not like this thing hasn't been going up or down with a game controller. And, when you actually look into that, it's not that crazy that he used a game controller. They use it in the military sometimes. So I don't believe any conspiracy where they're saying that this thing didn't exist and it wasn't taking people down there. But of course, could there be ulterior motives around these particular people? Could it have been sabotaged? Absolutely. Probably will read some of the information that comes out, but that's not what this video is about. I'm sort of staying away from the conspiracy topics on the most part. And I more wanted to talk about the psychological aspects of people's responses to some people's tragedy just because they have more money than you do. Or maybe, depending on how wealthy you are. And that's all. And I hope everyone is good. And hopefully I'll try and get inspired for more videos and stay more regular. I hope everyone is good and speak soon. Bye.